Hello, good evening. Our group is conformed by Karen Bonilla, Duarte Espejo, and me, Juanita Santisteban. Today we will be talking about the history of translation in Hispanic America since the conquest time to nowadays. So, the history of translation began when Columbus arrived to American islands in 1492. He faced more than 1,000 of languages which were grouped into 133 families. In the early conquest times, Spanish authorities didn't speak nor understand American languages, and Americans, on the other hand, didn't speak nor understand Spanish. Therefore, the wide use of interpreters of languages. The very two first interpreters were Indians and Spanish. Indians were captured to teach them Spanish, and Spanish, on the other hand, as well, were really important since their very first trips abroad. They, for one reason or another, they remained sharing the life, culture, and language of the natives. These two interpreters, Spanish and Indian, represent on this first phase the approach between both cultures.
Colonization was a period between the 16th and 18th century. It was a period of inquisition. Translations were shaped to help the crown reach out to larger indigenous groups in the New World, and to feed them with their culture and their religion. The Spaniards used a role called lingua franca to help them communicate with the natives, but limited to some common languages because there were too many. Some they found useful, like Quechua. Most literature was off limit or banned. However, there were multiple illegal translations hardly spread um, in Hispanoamerica, um, both from European languages and indigenous languages.
Pre-independence and emancipation was a period characterized by the search of roots and an identity, imitative traits, and less selective manifestations, including translation, were based on fashion and Eurocentric and American tendencies. Politicians and intellectuals were part of this group who had the opportunity to travel to Europe and the United States of America, encouraged by separatist and emancipatory ideas. For these humanists, translation was a need, where the principal topics were politics, literature, um, education, without forgetting military and religious texts. The creation of newspapers, literary bulletins, publishing houses, and universities were the motivation for translation activity. A clear example is Correo del Orinoco, created by Simón Bolívar. The principal languages translator during this period was mostly the French in the early of 19th centuries, followed by English, Italian, and German. This pattern was common in the region, but in different stages.
The Republic is a period between the 19th centuries and the present days. With the consolidation of the Republic, The translation activity in politics field is being reduced, but it's being specialized and focused on some other areas like education, businesses, science, and literature. For being this the less unknown period regarding the translation activity, and due to the globalization, the role of the translator and the interpreters is vital for developmental countries, in especially in Latin America.